obviously, you know, I'll tell you some of the ridiculous comments being made today, Adah. You know, there is one political party, a political party, which has representation even in parliament, saying that we'll give you 1 crore rupees if you prove that these things happen. And there is, you know, as a counter, there is another advocate who came out and said, I'll give you 11 crore to prove that it did not happen. It's hilarious, but somewhere, and you go through some of the videos, and these videos are in public domain of these ISIS brides, and specifically from Kerala, there are videos of them giving interviews in Afghanistan, some on candid camera with their children seated next to them. These are real stories. You can't deny what happened, right? And that human side somewhere, is it getting lost in the politics, Adah?
I'm a girl and I find this really scary. So I go on social media today, and the first thing I see is our film was trending on #1 of the most awaited films of this year. And also I was like, yay, I was really excited. And the next thing I saw, my timeline looked like the stock market, because people were throwing numbers in exchange for human lives. And I thought that's very scary. That's so scary to read as a girl. That's what our film is about, actually. We are trying to tell you that you know, girls were manipulated for money. The gains that they got to send them to ISIS, those boys got money to woo the girls, to make them fall in love with them, to manipulate them, brainwash them. They were raped, drugged, and were taken off to the ISIS. And I just thought that human life has become so cheap now that we just sell it at, you know, you put your price, you put your price. It almost became like a bidding thing. So I don't know, for me, I think even if it's just one life, one girl who's gone, it's a lot. But maybe people don't feel it because it's not their person. It's somebody else's daughter, somebody else's mother, somebody else's sister who went. But if it was your own sister, your own friend who was taken away or was drugged, would the numbers still matter? Would you be still counting and saying, in this number, one of my person? No, then the number you'd put totally aside and you'd only speak for one person who's your person. So I think it's a really sensitive issue. I hope as human beings we can be more sensitive. However, we live in a free country. I'm really happy we live in a free country where there's freedom of thought, freedom of expression, freedom of word. Unlike in the movie, they take me to a place where there's no freedom of thought. I wouldn't be able to talk to you like I am now if I was the character I was in the film. So I think everyone's freedom of thought should be respected. But our movie is now releasing, so maybe they can watch the film. And I promise you there's nothing derogatory said about Kerala. I am from Kerala. So, and our makers are reputed people. They won't make a movie that says anything derogatory about a state. In fact, we've shown Kerala to be really beautiful.
Yeah, that's, you know, that's a shortcut many politicians and political parties take. But I won't get to that. But what I do want to talk about is what many, I feel, even, you know, TV channels perhaps not paying attention to the human suffering of it. Because I still remember we spoke to the mother of Nimisha, who several years back was fighting to bring her daughter back when she had the chance. When did she have a chance? When the Taliban had not yet taken over Afghanistan. Now the Taliban has taken over Afghanistan. Perhaps she will never see her daughter. We don't know. But India doesn't want them back. And the stories are many, isn't it, Adah? I'll just take one more question to you. The stories are many. Why don't you tell us some of these stories of, you know, the case studies that you researched, perhaps, while making this film?
You know, to explain these stories in a few sentences is just selling it so short. It's almost like you have to watch. Even our film is a 2-hour film. We try to put in everything that we can. But these girls have lived lives like that. You can't imagine one day like that. Imagine if you were a girl, a simple situation, and you're any person, and I take away your mobile phone for a few hours, you'd probably freak out and get withdrawal symptoms. Imagine being in a place where your phone is taken away from you. You don't know when you will get your next meal, and you're being physically abused. You don't know when you can talk to your family, or you might never see them ever again. So our movie covers a lot more different girl stories. There's a lot. So I'm sure once you watch the film, you'll love.
Yeah, I haven't watched the film, so I'm curious to see. Vipul, briefly, if you can tell, you must be under a lot of pressure. I've been looking at all the, I mean, it's good publicity, right? It's good publicity. Any publicity is good publicity, but I'm not talking about that. But when you get all of these brickbats, right, and the comments and these politicians having a go at each other, how do you deal with it?
I think the only way to deal with it is not look at it, because that's one humble request that we've made to all politicians, that please watch the film. After watching the film, we are ready to answer your criticism. But before watching the film, if you're going to jump the gun and you're going to, discredit us, that's going to be a bit unfair. But fair, whatever everybody's individual stand is, we respect that. I just want to say that as filmmakers, as a team, we are right now looking at taking this film to as many daughters, as many mothers, as many fathers as possible. We want the whole country to see the film. So, finally, it will be the audience which will decide whether our story has value or it is just some junk.
Yeah.
Ultimately, if it connects with the audience and if audiences find some value in our messaging and our film, then I think we will be very, very satisfied. And again, as I'm saying, we are open for a debate.
Yeah.
It's a democracy and every political party has a right to express their views. We respect that. But this is our counter, that watch the film and engage with us.
You know, the most ironic, and my last question to Sudipta was, the most ironic aspect of it all is the so-called liberals asking for a ban on the film. I actually read a few people of these parties that claim to be fighting for freedom of speech saying they want a ban on the film. And you're saying, Sudipta, you stand by every scene in this film, every scene, every story.
The thing is, every line we stand by, every word spoken we stand by. Sir, if you don't want to watch the film, then I have a doubt that you want to hide something. Why you want to hide something? We are talking about 3 girls being trafficked. The 3 girls being cheated. Now, who have cheated? Some terrorists. Because it is not only in our country. It is in Europe, it is in America, it is in UK. There are more than 700 girls right now in the same jail where our protagonist Shalini is there. Now, just imagine that in a country when we are talking about terrorists, people say it is Islamophobic. How come talking about a terrorist become an Islamophobic? They only told us that a religion, that terror has no religion. So now these people are relating. It is not we. Actually, the people who are seeking ban, they are trying to say that you are Islamophobic, you are talking about the terrorist. So what do we understand? But sir, we don't want to get into any politics. We don't want to get into any phobia. We are filmmakers. We made a film, and I think whoever has seen the film, sir, I just wanted to add on. There are few journalists has seen the film in Bangalore. There was a test screening was going on. Before that, those journalists jumped on me to ask about 22,000. I just requested them, folded hand, told them that see the film. I will be standing here, and coming out of the screening, ask me the same question. Trust me. They came out and they said, Sudiptoji, we are not going to ask you the question. We got the answer.
Interesting. Let's see what happens on the 5th of May. Looking forward to this film. Thank you, Adah. Vipul. Yes. Okay, last word, Mr. Vipul. Yeah.
Yeah. So I just want to say to everybody that this film is not against Kerala. This film is not against any community or any religion. This film is against terrorism, and we will stand by every word that the film has in itself. So absolutely want to make it clear that this film is not against anybody that they are trying to make us to be.